Now, I think that we can all pretty much agree on the fact that Bob Iger is definitely the worst CEO of all time over at Disney. There's no doubt about that. Now, we know that he has been mishandling anything ranging from all of their businesses, of course. If you want to look at Disney Plus on the streaming side of things, that's failing. If you want to look at the parks, at least over in the Orlando destination, the attendees are going down. I know a lot of you guys out there have been reporting back to me below in the comments, talking about your experience. Thank you so very much, by the way. Many of you are also welcome to participate as well. And a lot of you guys have been saying, yeah, it's been emptier than usual, especially this year in comparison to last. And it's not just that, it's the movies with the box office really not meeting expectations, and the list goes on and on. However, we gotta talk about this Disney stock crash that recently hit a 9-year low and what Bob Iger had to talk about, specifically responding to that situation. This is Mike Zero. Subscribe if you're new and like this video to see future updates. I'm also on Twitter at Mike01. I thank you all so very much for the great and kind support. And let's get right into the subject, shall we? Now, we know that Bob Iger, or as I like to call him, and I know this gets old, Bob Iger, alright, this guy always lies, and he will say whatever he has to say to come across as confident that the company is confident in a successful future, and all of the nonsense that he spews out every single time. Now, a lot of people have been wondering why Disney stock hit a 9-year low. Some people think it's associated with the Ahsoka Tano series. I'm not so quite sure about that. I think it could have very well had something to do with perhaps maybe the Disney parks, or maybe some of the recent announcements, such as the cost cutting that is now going into full effect. It could very well have something to do with that. But let's go into what Bob Iger had to talk about, this 9-year low, and how he kind of does revert to everything else. Now, with Bob Iger lately making one bad decision after the other throughout 2023 onwards with the films, parks, Disney Plus, and more, Iger delivered the following. We here at Disney aim for success with our cost containment plan, working in motion, and so of course, as a natural response, stocks are going to fluctuate and become very unstable from time to time. This is something that we expected to happen, and it doesn't concern me in the least about our trajectory for the next 2 years, as our cost cutting will keep taking place to spend less and make less, which will cover us. As part of this strategy, we anticipated stocks to become very unpredictable, but we don't see this becoming a downward trend. If anything, we see and predict our investors to gain our trust and confidence further, with a wider success rate throughout the remainder of this year into 2024. We have excellent content for Star Wars, Marvel, and Disney that's up and coming. With Star Wars, we expected to gain many subscribers throughout the rest of this year to make up for our losses of 12 million. Now, let me pause here quick, guys. I don't know if you knew this, but throughout this year, they lost 12 million subscribers for Disney Plus. That's obviously what he's referring to there. And that's globally, I believe he's speaking. The problem with Disney Plus, and this is what I always like to bring up, is that when you sign up, it's either you're a Star Wars fan, or you're a Marvel fan, or you're a little bit of a mixture of both. You know, there's also a smaller percentage that sign up to watch The Simpsons, or to watch some of the Disney classics, but the grand scheme of things here is this. A lot of people tend to sign up temporarily to watch one show, and then they leave. I know a lot of people that I know that still have Disney Plus accounts. What they do now is they sign up, they watch a show, and they ditch the streaming service until months later when another show pops up. And a lot of them so happen to be Star Wars fans. And that's what they're doing with Ahsoka. They're gonna watch Ahsoka, and they're gonna ditch the service once it comes to a close. So here's the problem. Alright, I believe that Bob Iger is lying again. I think what's going to end up happening is that Disney is, yes, going to have a downward trend. I don't believe it's going to fluctuate in a more positive way for them. I don't think that you're going to see it going up, and then a little bit down, and then more up, and then a little bit down, and then reaching an all-time high. I don't believe it's going to end up like that. Not in the least. There's no way. I think what's going to end up happening is that throughout this year, you are going to see a downward trend, and it's going to hit an even bigger low. Until next year, just you wait until Snow White 2024 drops. I believe that's really going to kick them hard. I really do believe that. Now, Iger goes on to elaborate further. As for myself, I hold no concern with the recent 9-year low for Disney stock. I don't believe this signals anything to be alarmed about, and we expect a bounce back by the end of this week or early next week at the latest, as we have some exciting announcements we will be making for our business model. We believe our customers will also be more pleased to hear what we have to say in the coming weeks. He's most likely talking about D23, by the way. Of course, externally, many would believe this is something alarming for Disney, but we just don't see any concern about the 9-year low. We expect our parks, merchandise, Disney subscribers, and our films to have a resourceful bounce back by the end of this year and next altogether, as we prepare for 2024. Many of our customers are going to be surprised with what they hear with our planned announcements for our upcoming events. So, I think that Bob Iger is just saying whatever he has to say here to keep things, in motion, to keep investors confident. And at the end of the day, let's not be, naive here. I believe that Disney is going to fail at some point in time if they keep up with their DEI nonsense agenda, all of this diversity and equity nonsense that's being thrown into films and television. It just does not work. It does not work. And so, we know that Disney is going to say whatever they have to say to, gain the trust of investors, to kind of stop this downward trend. And look, when you're not putting out good material, when you're not putting out good products, or you're not cutting rates and you're just increasing rates and reducing the amount of what you're giving, it's just really not going to resonate with fans or customers, whatever have you, and it's really going to bring them in this downward spiral. And I've said this before in the past that 2023, toward the fourth quarter, they are going to hit an all-time low. And it so happened that, well, just a little before that fourth quarter, it happened. So I think at the end of the day, Bob Iger is just lying again. He's going to do exactly what he did before a couple years ago, where he says whatever he has to say, and that's just going to be his job from now on. He is literally Bob Iger at this point. Now, the stock, it's going to be interesting to see if that holds true. Is it going to bounce back by the end of today? Is it going to bounce back, beginning again on Monday or Tuesday? That should be very interesting. We'll be keeping a lookout on that, and we'll keep you guys updated on Twitter. But anyway, guys, I would really like to hear what you all have to say about this entire scenario for Disney below in the comments. And if you guys did enjoy the content for today, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel, and I will catch you guys next time.